Oh, another Sunday, another beautiful, blessed Sunday. Greetings to all of you, followers, likers, subscribers, and sharers. All zero of you at this moment in time. Yeah, so let's get into another week. Gold had a sell off, according to this, to end the week. Why is it on 5 minutes? I want to change the time frame. How do I change the time frame? 30-minute boy. Oh, wait. So that's how I do it. Okay, economic calendar. That's where we start to figure out what's going on next week. Since it's the end of the month, that means Friday should be, you guessed it, NFP Friday. So what's the protocol for NFP week? Usually Monday and Tuesday are super chill. You get some volatility expansion and New York session, either from this or from this. And then Thursday is usually chill inside day range. And then Friday is when the big move happens. And yeah, everything else just kind of follows that. This is so cool though. Like, if anything, I really liked over the last few years is the increasing amount of overlap between trading and football. Like, there was a time Xness was sponsoring Real Madrid. I don't like, yeah, this is just two things that I find an affinity towards. But it's cool to see that footballers are into trading and hopefully traders are getting into football too. Apart from dodgy, yeah, apart from dodgy. Anyway, let's get into the charts now. Um, yeah, so I'm a bit more active on TikTok now. I'm gonna start posting trade forecasts on WhatsApp. Pray for my ego because I get really embarrassed when I call something and it doesn't happen the way I expected it to. Cause low-key, I feel like all of you guys are gonna be judging me and shit. Like, mtakuja kuniwakia kwamba, yeah. And this is another thing I want to experiment with, like switching languages in between stream. I know YouTube isn't built for that at this moment in time, nor are majority of you because you only probably understand one of the two languages that I'm speaking. But because AirPods have translate in them right now, let's just push the envelope and see how far we can get. Possibly we might have subtitles that auto translate. If not, then at least auto caption. Yeah, I could go on a tangent about a bunch of other things too, but let's focus on the charts right now. So euro dollar in the last, well, this year has been fairly bullish. Started the year somewhere down here, and then this is April, May. Since June, roughly, we've been consolidating in this area. Had a push to the upside, hit by buy side liquidity on the monthly time frame, and then we've retraced heavily um into this range that we've been in since June. Also taking out this level of buy side liquidity because this is a swing high. We have a lower high to the left, a high, and a lower high to the right. So, what information do I get from this? We're still in the range. Like, if I was to take a measuring tool between here and here, this is the range I'm in. This is not considered as a breaker or mitigation block. Why? Because there isn't a fair value gap. There is an imbalance, but there isn't a fair value gap. Otherwise, the midpoint would have responded quite expediently to price trading lower. So on the weekly chart, we do have, see, there's a gap right there. That's why I'm marking this level. Why am I not marking this one? Because this is the high that broke here, and then this is the high that broke here. That's why there's a gap over here. So I figured if I explain what it is that I'm seeing, then it might help you understand even further, or it might help me understand because apparently teaching somebody something makes you learn it twice as fast. And there's also the quote that says, if you can't teach something to somebody, you don't know it well enough. I may have said this earlier in the year, but I don't remember, so I'm saying it now. Okay, so what happened last week? So the previous week, which is 15th September, we ran into this buy side levels, but then we came back and quickly closed within the range, as you can see, from roughly here to here. Or if you just want to take this entire price swing from down here all the way to up here. But essentially, price is chilling within here and this high. Last week saw bearishness, so we might see some continued bearishness as this level gets retested in the next upcoming week. So I'm bearish on euro dollar in the upcoming week. Do I see any other more recent PDRAs? Well, I'm tempted to use this as a propulsion block, but there was no sweep of liquidity before it, and there's no fair value gap to the right side of it, so I'm just going to ignore this block and expect price to maybe trade lower into this upcoming week. Pretty close, I would say. I mean, some of you might say no, but and yeah, that's up to you if you do say no. But I think I was pretty close. Shit, wrong button. Okay, center this. Last 60 days of trading price action is about this much. So this is the things that kind of annoy me, because for me, a close above this midpoint would signal that this gap has failed and we're going to continue to the upside. However, we had a fair value gap in, fair value gap out after sweeping into liquidity. You think? So that's signs for reversal. Still, this would have made me very uncomfortable taking shorts, so I took shorts on this day and this day. I was actually long on this day. Yeah, because we kind of closed just above it, and I figured, okay, then we're going to continue going higher, and then next thing you know, all the way down, just like the analysis had depicted. In the midst of it, let's look ahead to next week and see what there is. So we have this gap, which was recently created. You can expect it to get traded into on Monday. So if I was to trade next week, I would be bullish on the Monday. On the bearish side, like on this side, there's just this block over here, which I can see. This counts as an order block because we had a retracement into fair value gap, right? So like here, retracement into fair value gap, this should be an order block. It didn't hold. These are the things that trip me up. If you're listening, Mr. ICT probably isn't listening. He has better things to do than listen to me rant for like 30-40 minutes about charts. But this is the thing that messes me up, because you see here, retracement into order blocks worked. Here, you retrace into the fair value gap, and then order block doesn't work when you move forward, but then price continues going higher. See, that, to me, I don't understand why it happens. Sometimes it annoys me that I don't understand, but for the most part, it doesn't really affect me getting profitable trades or not. So it's probably something I'll understand in the future. It's not like when I started, I understood everything. Yeah, so this is the level of buy side. Why is this the level of buy side? Because there's a swing low to the left and right of it. This one doesn't have a swing low to the right of it. And same thing here. Fair value gap, retracement into fair value gap, goes, order block, initially holds and then gets broken through. I'm not really sure why though. More of the same probably next week. See us come back into the midpoint of this range. Maybe this is a bit too far forward. Screenshot. Why am I screenshotting? So that I can use it on X. I post these on X. Okay, so let me find somewhere to park it before I post it. Okay, that's euro dollar. It's gold. Not exactly there yet, but we're on our way. This is monthly chart projections, by the way, though. Shit, if I had the hands to hold this long. If I could have held from down here, bro, that would have been fucking insane, man. How many pips is that, actually? That is 21,000 pips, bro. Like, if you had 0.01, I know you motherfuckers keep calling 0.01 cabbage effects, but if you had 0.01, this would have been $200. I joke. It would have been $2,000 off of 0.01, because this would be in 37. It's $200. Yeah, it would have been $2,000 off of 0.01. But how long did that take you, mate? It would have taken. Okay, let's not use that. Let's use this. 1,000 days to make $2,000 roughly. 1,000 days. Versus if you just increase your lot size, you could be making that in minutes, seconds, hours. Not 1,000 days. Which I hope you understand is why I veer towards, or I prefer doing intraday trading than swing trading or any other form of trading. Is because the quicker you increase your lot size, the quicker that you make money, essentially. Saw a dude on TikTok who took like $12 to fucking couple thousand in like 3 minutes, 13 minutes. That was like 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. I don't know. But brother was just executing. Like, he'd take a trade, he'd close, he'd take another trade, he'd close, he'd take another trade, he'd close, and each time he's just increasing his lot size. There's no other way, and there's no other pair that would let you do it. Like, swear to God, trading JP225 it's testing my patience. That and Eurodollar are both really testing my patience, because they don't move as fluidly as this pair does. And I'm so used to trading this pair because I've been trading it for like 4 years now. This year not so much, but 4 years roughly, just looking at gold every day. Like, Eurodollar seems like running with brakes on, if that makes sense. So here we just see another fair value gap forming after making a new all-time high, as this boy's been running since August. Like, it's just buy. If you don't know what to do, buy XAU. Okay, let's look at the daily chart. I was bearish last week. Figured we'd run into the all-time high, which was here, and then retrace lower, but price has other ideas, or the market has other ideas. So here we are. This is going to be a pretty significant level. I could tell you that now. Not just because there's an overlap, but also because of this level of daily sell-side liquidity, which I technically shouldn't mark because there's no swing low on either side of it. So that could get pushed up to here. I don't know. So an expansion, new all-time high formed. It's extended into the next month at least. And what else is there? Mkiniomba nitaanza kuongea Kiswahili, like shit. Like, the only reason natumia Kiingereza zaidi ni kwa sababu Kiswahili kuna wazungumzaji kama milioni 200, wakati Kiingereza wanafika mabilioni kama mara 10 ya. Na isitoshe, sio kwamba kila mzungumzaji atakuwa na uwezo kuingia mtandaoni kuangalia maudhui nayoandaa na kuyarusha, ila Kwa hiyo kwa sababu sio wote ambao wataweza kuingia, sio yani nakuwa na yani hao milioni 200 sitowafikia wote, tuseme nitafikia hata milioni labda 3-5 hivi ambao kidogo wanaweza wakanisikiza na kunielewa na kufuata ninachokisema. Ndio maana I'm mainly using English, because you niggas watching YouTube are listening to YouTubers speak English anyway, so the fuck does it change if it's coming from a Tanzanian? What do I see happening? Support block. This would be a mitigation block, yeah? Still expecting price to come back and trade into it at some point in the future. So, I'll shift a little bit. We might break the all-time high again on the Wednesday and then come back down on Friday to post in somewhere here. Kinda want to close this outside liquidity, but doesn't feel right. I mean, it was a retracement into an order block, so technically yes, but still doesn't feel right. Either way, this is my idea for gold. Put the screenshot somewhere that I can use later to post on Twitter. Why don't I post on Insta? I'll post today. Yeah, this bear, bro, fucking giving me nightmares and shit, bro. Why? Because, god damn it, man. How to explain this to you? This pair it moves so fucking weird. That's my fucking problem with it. Like, if you're watching the volatility on an intraday basis, which is what I realized I should be trading this pair on a higher time frame, it moves so slowly, especially when you're used to trading gold. Like, there's moments it feels like it's not even moving at all. What do you do in those moments to make sure that you don't sabotage yourself or make some reckless decisions when waiting? Still trying to figure that out, to be honest. If I get the answer, I'll let you know. Okay. Dude, I got bored. Okay, so what happened was I was expecting price to retrace into this area here, right? Pull back, break, and retest, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Essentially, we're pulling back and then retest this area and then push higher. That's what I expected to see last week. Guess what we fucking got? Absolute chop. This entire week, price just fucking consolidated within this area. Really, really pissing me off because there's no trades to take, which means you have to sit on the sidelines or look at another pair at least until something pops up here. But just, it was not a pretty trading week for this pair. So I'm still waiting for a retracement lower into somewhere here because there's an overlap of these PD rays. Not that it guarantees anything, but seeing the overlap of PD rays here means that there's a good chance. We could see something like this in the upcoming week. I don't see us coming back all the way this high. Now, so cut through this. That's what I see. Before I go, grievances on Manchester United. Their team in transition, the squad selection does bother me a little bit, but like he said yesterday, the players didn't really turn up, and that is very visible. You know, just like how it's visible for me when I'm making shitty trading decisions, it's visible for them too also like on the fucking pitch. Um, I liked the way Cunha is feeling his teammates now and starting to express himself a bit more. Dorgu, I really enjoy watching Dorgu go up the wing. However, end product, like for me, the two centre backs in the middle, like why the fuck aren't you crossing the ball, right? Like okay, the wingers are playing out wide, but why don't you guys cross the ball from a little deeper, you know? Cause Sheshko, that goal just tenacity, you know, aggression, the striker ability to force situations. I really like that. Kobe Mainu didn't play from the start. I don't know why. Because Kobe has this ability where I've seen people have played around it with, where it's like at some points in the match, tunnel vision, and they take charge of the game. Like they decide games essentially. It's being a match winner, match decider. Like I've seen he has that in him. Need to bring it out more. Sure, the manager wants to protect him. Sure, the manager wants to make sure his minutes are managed so we don't end up with like a Pedri or Gavi situation. Not necessarily Gavi, but like Pedri, like play that boy into the ground. But I feel like Manu's ready to take to step up essentially. Why? Because like if you're looking at academy graduates right now, I think he's the most senior one or the most like the oldest academy graduates in the squad right now, which means technically he should be playing. You know, I mean, I understand he's not Marcus Rashford, and like yo, it's crazy. Marcus Rashford is essentially the Amin Yamal blueprint, so it's so crazy that they're both out there. But Rashford's Unk now, like Yamin's looking at him like, yo, what's up, Unk? But that used to be Rash. It's mad. So Sekou Kone is in here. Um, Bruno looks like he needs a rest. Like, yeah, I understand Captain Fantastic will play every single game, but bro, in between traveling for the national team and playing every single minute for Manchester United, like that's a lot. It's a lot you're asking from him. And then still, there's something I noticed from Ferguson's winning teams, or even just like over the last few seasons, the teams that have been winning the Premier League, is goals, my friend, goals. It's taken like of all the Premier League winning seasons that Ferguson's had, we've scored at least 60, 70 goals, maybe more. Last season we had 44 goals. It's happened. Season's over. Um, Another thing was also he would bring in academy players. There was Gibson, there was Oberton, Makeda, uh, Januzaj. List goes on. Like Mr. Amorim, you need to bring some players up from the academy if the first team players aren't good enough because players in the fucking academy will die for the badge. Unlike some players in the starting 11 who are typically there to increase their personal brand being associated with Manchester United versus actually giving a shit about the club. Maybe they do want to play football, win trophies, and you know all that stuff, but I don't see the fucking hunger, desire to be like, yeah, fuck you, I'm Man United. You know. Um. Yeah, and last thing is also with title-winning squads, it's a long season, especially if you're trying to win multiple trophies. Rotation, rotating the squad. That is something that Ferguson was absolutely excellent at. We have a Saturday game and then a midweek Champions League assignment. You would see Rooney getting benched on Saturday. You would see potentially Vidic coming off at some point in like 70th, 80th minute. You would see the second goalkeeper getting to play. At that point, it was either Kujak or Heaton or whoever it was. Second goalkeeper gets a chance to play. You'd get the academy players coming up, getting a chance to play. And I know right now it's a critical situation where every game feels like it's absolutely under the microscope, where taking a loss is complete shambles and everything is breaking down, breaking apart. But if you really have the backing of the board, as you say, and the board, if you're really trusting the manager, as you say you are, he needs, like, give him time to implement these things, because it's a situation where you need results, but you also need to be making those changes. So sometimes you're gonna have to win ugly for the sake of the table and progress, like just to make sure that you're still in the fucking league next season. But also at the same time, like, something's got to give. Like, sometimes the result, you don't watch the result. You look at the performance more, just like in the Arsenal game. Like, yeah, we lost, but dude, fucking balled out that game. So yeah, that's me. That's what I saw this week, and yeah, I think I'll be a bit more active on YouTube here and other social media platforms as I try to monetize them. So if you learned anything, if you want to keep hearing me talk, potentially even see my face when I talk, like, subscribe, comment. It helps me know that you are interested in what it is that I'm posting right now. So yeah, have a good, thank you.